Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make placemats using panel fabric like this. I'll also show you in a very soon upcoming video how to take this same panel fabric and turn it into a coordinating table runner. So let's get started. Panel fabrics can be a little tricky to work with because they're never printed straight and it's hard to get them all to be squared up to the same size. So no matter if you're just making a placemat out of each one of these or if you're turning it into a table runner, you still need to try to square them to about the same size so that everything will line up, especially if you're making the table runner. So I'm first going to just do a very rough cut. I'm just going to start cutting this little border print fabric off. Then I'm going to go down the middle of these. So try to get in the middle as best you can and cut. And you would continue doing it on the next one and then go across this way and go right down the middle. After you do your rough cut, now you want to do your final trimming to get it squared to one size. So what you need to take the time to measure this panel piece to see what it comes out to. The goal is to get them all to the same squared size. So it looks like I might be able to get these all squared to 11.5 inches square. So you want to center your 12.5 inch square ruler on here. And here's my 11.5 inch line here and along up here. And that's what I'm centering my ruler over. So I've kind of got it centered here. And I'm going to go ahead and do my cut. And then I'm going to cut this edge here. And always take your time. Oops, a little bit more right there. Now you're going to turn the block, pick up this corner over here and bring it over here. Now take your two previously cut edges along here, place it on the 11.5 inch line and get it all lined up. Really take your time because you don't want to have to keep shrinking this block and making it smaller and smaller. Gonna go up here just a little bit more and then cut this side and then this side. Now if you're making the table runner, you've got to get all your blocks to the same size. The placemat, you could be off a little bit because no one's going to know that not all of your placemats are exactly the same size. This is the fabric that I want to surround my block. The finished size of my placemat, I would like it to be 14 inches by 18 inches. So here's how to calculate the fabric. Because the placemat is not a square, you need to cut your pieces down to specific sizes in order to get it to that 14 by 18. So you kind of need how to do a little bit of math. So I'm going to work on the 18 inch side. So the block is a little over 11 inches, but I'm using 11 inches. 11 from 18 is 7 inches. So I've got to divide this 7 inches up by 2 so that I can have the same amount on each side. So divide it by 2, that equals 3.5. Then I'm going to add another 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So I need to have a piece cut for each side that's 4 inches wide. Now for the other side, it's 14 inches minus 11 is 3 inches. Divide it by 2. 1.5 inches plus seam allowance equals 2 inches. So I need to cut a strip of fabric that's 2 inches wide. So let me show you how I've cut my fabric. Here's how to cut your strips of fabric that you need. When you purchase your fabric, it's folded with the selvages edges together, and that's where my selvages are. They're right here. Up here is my folded edge. So leave it folded in half. And then you're going to take your ruler, line it up on this side, and with a rotary cutter, go ahead and trim that edge straight. Then you're going to leave your fabric exactly where it is, move it over 4 inches, and with your rotary cutter, again, cut a piece. Then move over 2 inches and cut your second piece. Here's my block that I'm going to use, and it's going to be 18 inches wide this way and 14 inches wide this way. So here's my 2-inch strip, and it's still folded in half. And I'm just going to do a really rough cut. I'm going to cut it wider than this, and go over here and cut this side. And you're going to stitch on each side, bring it front sides together on each one. Line up your edges and stitch 1/4 inch along here and then here. After you've got them stitched on, then press your seam on the back side, unfold and press on top, and do the same thing on the other edge. Now we're going to trim this edge straight. Place your ruler on this edge here, and you're going to trim everything to be an exact fit. And then go over to the other side after you've done this one and trim this side also. Take your other strip and leave it folded in half and just do a rough cut again. Cut this longer than it is, okay? Then take your strips, lay them front side down on top over at each edge, and then stitch 1/4 inch here and here. And then after you're done, go ahead and press your seams on the back side, then unfold and press them on top. After you've pressed your seams, then you're going to trim this edge straight. Place your ruler right along that edge and cut these edges even with this side. And when you're done, go over to this side and cut this edge also. Next step is to layer your fabric. So here's my fabric for the back of the placemat. I want to put it front side of the fabric down, so you're looking at the back side right here. Then put your cotton batting. You can use 1 or 2 layers if you like. I always just use 1, but some people like to use more. And then put your placemat piece on top. Now you'll notice I have cut it larger than necessary. I like to do that because the next step is your quilting stitches, and your fabric can stretch a little bit, so I like to have extra, and then I'll trim it all off later. So here are some samples of your quilting stitches. By the way, before you do the stitches, scatter pins all over the top. You can just do straight stitches like this going across, okay, like it looks almost like a checkerboard. Then you can also go at a diagonal. Start in the corner and go across, and then turn it and go across the other way. You can also use decorative quilting stitches. This is my favorite. It's called a serpentine stitch. It's a wavy line, so you could still do that same going straight up and down and then side to side. You can also do it going corner to corner, and how you would start, you would first start in a corner and go across, then turn it, go to the other corner, and go across. A suggestion I have for you is it'll make it easier to do your quilting stitches if you have a walking foot. It looks like this. You can get them easily on the internet. You just go into maybe like Amazon.com, enter the model name of your sewing machine and say walking foot, and there will be a variety of options that will come up. They're pretty affordable. They can go from maybe $20 on up to $150, $200, depending on the kind of sewing machine you have. After doing your quilting stitches, you want to trim this excess fabric and cotton batting off. So line your ruler up on the fabric that's on the top, and then go ahead and trim this off. So go around to all 4 sides and trim it off. If you need instructions on how to put the binding on, then click in the link in the upper right-hand corner and it will take you to a very detailed video on how to put binding on pot holders, table runners, placemats, and even quilts. If you enjoyed this video, please click on thumbs up. Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to enter your email address and click on that little bell notification so that you receive emails about my latest video. I'm Cheryl. I'm so glad you came to my sewing room. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing!